Changing your country doesn't automatically change your financial future. If you do not change your mindset, then unfortunately, your postcode will not matter. Now, I haven't lived every story, but I have heard that some families actually do sell lands. They borrow money and they empty their entire savings just to send one person abroad. That kind of a sacrifice deserves more than survival. It actually deserves a strategy. Therefore, if you are planning to migrate or you have already migrated, well, here's the advice I did give you. Don't build mansions while your own life is unstable. If you are struggling abroad, you have no business building castles back home. That is why in my introduction, I said you need a strategy. We need to build assets. We need to build stability. We need to think beyond the cap. What am I talking about? Businesses. Then we can build the dream. Because the dream is actually in the future. But your reality is today. That reality also includes the future. So we need to find a way to have a strategic methodology, a system that will guide us to its end goal. And the end goal is the dream you intend to build. And so let's build these first. And out of their proceeds, out of that stability, we can think beyond the cap and build the dream back home. But let me draw your attention to something. You live on a foreign land, probably occupying a single room, maximum maybe a room with a shared lavatory. That is fine. There are stages and seasons in life, so that is fine. But may I ask this question? Why do we want to build a dream back home? How about here? How about where you find yourself? How about where you intend to spend 10, 15, 20 years? We can also build that dream here. And so as we are building the assets, as we are building stability, as we are ensuring that our assets are being invested in, we can also have a bit of a quality life. We can live here and we can live there, but with time, prioritizing what actually matters. See, I do not want to offend anyone. I also do not want to be emotional about this. And so as I even dive deeper, may I humbly ask you to forgive me if any part of my wedding offends you, or if I don't state right, or probably I get emotional with my delivery. Please, in all humbleness, forgive me. Migration is not a trial and error. Do not migrate hoping things will work out. Hope is not a strategy. And so we can't hope that things are going to be well, because the moment you begin to hope, then there is an assumption that somebody must help. Then you can actually have real relationships, because there's always an expectancy with people. But bear in mind, these people probably may also be struggling here and there. And so you may think the world is against you. God, what did you do with me? Do you not remember me? He does remembers you. But you came with hope. But we need a strategy. So what am I talking about? Treat migration like a business decision and not gambling. I really want to ensure that I'm using the right words, because I know there are a lot of people that find themselves in this dilemma. What am I talking about? Yes, we are all migrants, but that decision without knowing the how, to me, that is problematic. And so please, if you want to migrate or you are already here, then we must have a business mindset. It is not gambling. Let's get out of the hope mentality. Let's get out of the dream that does not have a strategy, and ensure these paths are clearly defined. Give yourself deadlines. Now, before you pack your bag, I need you to pause 1 minute, stick with me. Migration will not save you. So we need to have a timeline. I'm really taking my time with this because, like I stated earlier, I do not want to offend anyone, but I see this reality. Lately, even when you go to the shops, it's sad because you see people smiling at you, really eager to approach you. One time ago, someone approached me and you could tell the person actually needed a place to lay their head. And I struggled because I don't even know you. I don't know who I'm bringing to my home. I have young kids and I get it, the struggle. But the one thing I remember I did was I prayed. I prayed for a revival. I prayed that if I ever meet the person again, then probably it's God speaking to me. And that was my prayer, and then I let it there. We need to have a timeline. Because if you're not careful, by the time you realize it's been 5 years, it's been 10 years, it's been 15 years, it's been 20 years, and there's still a dream. No. There must be a strategy. Are you still with me? Do you have these timelines? And once again, if you're already here, do you know what your timeline is? Because we need to really define this. There must be a purpose in full clarity. This must be defined. Because migration is not actually the goal. But if we actually want to migrate, then there must be qualification. There must be investment. There must be savings. There must be a pension. There must be a business. There must be a foundation. And there must be a liberation. We must live. The dream must come to life. Your salary is a seed and not the harvest. Migration is not a plan. Migration is an opportunity. And these opportunities must be fully utilized with a strategy. Therefore, the pay slip is not the finish line. The pay slip is the initial capital. So we need a plan with the pay slip. We need to be buying assets with a pay slip. We need to invest with a pay slip. We need to be intentional with a pay slip. And so right from the initial, right from day one, when you start earning, that is when we embark on this journey. I get it. We may have borrowed money to find ourselves here. We may have sold assets to find ourselves here. And so there is something that is kicking within our IQ and the mindset. There is something that is actually preempting and causing a revolution and a next stage. But unfortunately, it is you building castles in the air. The dream is, oh, this we sold. I need to ensure I do 10 times of that. The money we borrowed, I need to ensure that I am doing this with that. If you are borrowing for migration, you need to go into a good terms and conditions. Tell the lender to give you 10 years to start paying. Yeah. It may not seem realistic, but it is a reality. Because the moment you start earning, the soldiers must go to work. We need to direct them to work. And I'll be getting into the age factor soon. It's an opportunity. And it must be fully utilized. Become so valuable you can't be ignored. Don't just work. Be exceptional. Now, what am I talking about? Specialists earn more money. They grow faster and they negotiate better. The market rewards value, so increase yours. What am I talking about? Before coming here, specialize in something. Before migrating to any other country, you need to do a little bit of a research. Check what is in deficit. What the country really requires, but yet they do not have a lot of people occupying those spaces. That is an area of specialization. If you can specialize where you find yourself before migrating, by all means do so. If you already find yourself in that dream land, then I need you to specialize. Do not just work. Find a way to specialize and call the shots. When you specialize, you become formidable. You become valuable. You become an asset to any institution that hires you. Your services are actually needed, and they are needed by the hour, by the clock. And so find a way to specialize in any field. It could be engineering, be the best. It could be any form of a field in construction, be the best. It could be you going into finance, be the best. There's so much that is involved with finance. Finance is one umbrella, but underneath it, analysts, management, asset managers, auditors, name them. The branches under the umbrella of finance is huge. Find a way to specialize and be unique. You understand? Your delivery, swift. Your outcomes, exceptional. Specialization comes with increase, and it comes with time management. If you specialize, then we shouldn't be in a rush to move out of the 9 to 5, because we can still be in the 9 to 5 contracted and still be able to marginalize and move into consultancy. It is possible, no limitation. On the other hand, from the Western side, institutions are developed. Specialized units are already built. But some parts where you are coming from require some specialties that are not already in alignment. And so when we specialize, we give ourselves room, especially you move into the medicine, the medical side, the chemist side. Give yourself room and find a way to realign back to where you're coming from and institutionalized. That is another way that you can build structures without being ignored. Yes, it requires money. Yes, it requires, in specialty. Yes, it requires a lot. But is it possible? Yes, it is. Because if you think you want to have your own franchise as a medical doctor in the Western side, there's a lot. NHS has already dominated. It is also possible, but trust me, it'll be quicker where you're coming from. Treat the West as a stepping stone. Do not see migration as a destination. No. See it as a training ground. You need to learn. You need to save. You need to build. Then you give a bit of a pause and ask that question. How do I turn this expertise into something bigger? How do I change the narrative? How do I build round all of these I've acquired? But how do you do this? Your network. If you need to pay to be a part of a specific network, do that as an investment in yourself. If you need to call a shot with people, do that as an investment with yourself. Why? We're working with time. And we do not have a lot of that on our side. We've acquired a lot. We've invested. We've obtained these assets. We've impacted ourselves. So then now, let's start having the right conversations. Let's start talking to the right people. Let's start aligning rightly. I'm so passionate about this. Because there should be no limitation when we migrate. The dreams that we had from where we're coming from shouldn't pause because we have migrated. I get it. The first 5 years is going to be challenging. But that is why we need to have the timelines I stated earlier. Then we realign. Back in order. Now, this point is going to be a little bit controversial. May I humbly ask you to support family with wisdom and not emotions. See, you can't keep pouring from an empty cup. There's nothing wrong with you helping. But I see everything wrong with you trying to help through your years of stability. How do we stabilize if we keep pouring out? So the little we get, we pour it out. The little you get, you pour it out. Can we have the conversations? And so I get it. Family may be offended because there's a lot of expectation. Probably a land was sold. We give you everything we have in our savings for you to be able to migrate. And so I get it. But you see, now that you are in and you know the reality, let's go back to family and have the right conversations. Mommy, daddy, I get it. I know times are tough. I know the season is not fair. But with what I've actually embraced myself with, I need time. Because if you do not help yourself first, you can't pick others. You can't help others to rise. You need to help yourself first. Then you can help others to rise. How do you do this? Sacrifice. And if that money was contributed by family, then be bold enough to have the conversations. And if that money is actually yours, then for the next 5 to 10 years, let's completely shut the door. Everyone will be fine by the grace of God. Because when you are well, they can confidently, and you can actually do better with them without being worried, without being tired. There's nothing that you gain no reward in trying to be a blessing and yet complaining. If I am pouring into you, I'm pouring into you without an expectation back, without me expecting you to do something back. But my greatest reward is from above, the great I am. But how do I do that if I am weary? How do I do that if I'm complaining? How do I do that if I'm thinking about where the next meal is going to come from? How I'm going to pay my bills? How do I do it? And so let's have the right conversations. Let's speak with the right people. And if love is something to go by, then I want to believe they really love you. They should understand it. Be strategic about marriage and children. I love family life. But let me please humbly advise you to only have the number of kids you can afford to cater for. Childcare from the Western side is a full investment on its own. Let me know how you're managing if you have kids from the West side. Let me know how you're managing in the comment section. It's a full-time business on its own. You may have to quit your job for survival. There's going to be a lot of sacrifices by that decision. So what am I talking about? Before you choose that partner, you must ensure that this partner understands what sacrifices. Love is good. Alignment is great. But let's have these conversations. Let's not be emotional with these conversations. Let's start talking about money. What does your partner think about money? In the long term, 10, 20 years, what is the expected goal with your partner? These are the conversations you want to be having. I get it. What do you think of me? Then you tell me, oh, I love you. I love your shape. I like how you look. I like how you talk. I love the fact that you're educated. No. They'll wear off. How I look, it will wear off. How I speak, I don't know what life will bring me. And so anything can change. And so if the reason why you have chosen me is because you like how I talk, I'm sorry, something else may happen. We don't know. We don't call the shots of the future by God. Also, choose that partner whom you sync with. I'm talking about SYNC. Same belief system. You understand? Someone that you share certain values and standards with. Because the West side will test your marriage. The West side will determine how your kids should be raised. And above it all, bring God along. And that decision should be in conformance with the will of God. And if you ask, how do I determine the will of God? Go on YAT Finance YouTube. I have lots of videos in hearing the voice of God, in aligning with God's timing. It's all for you. Don't let lifestyle inflation steal your future. A higher income does not mean higher spending. The fact that we are earning higher doesn't mean we need to be shouting it out. Yes, I've made it. Here I am. Look at me. I'm coming. No. Wealth is built in silence and in season of quietness. And when we've built, we want to ensure that we keep moving it to the top, the next level. How do you do it? You invest. You think of moving out of your commitment to some institution, someone, and now becoming the institution. This is how you build wealth. And so the people you affiliated with, once again, if that triggers your lifestyle, then I'm sorry. You need to be making that decision without being emotional about it. It is done in silence. Wealth is built when no one is watching. And when you invite the optics, they will come. They will hunch on you and feed on you like a parasite. And by the time you realize, all the dream is gone. Finally, never forget why you left. You didn't leave home to survive. You left to build. You left for the opportunity. You left to change the family tree, the narrative that has been. So at every point, we need to remind ourselves why we are here and where we intend to be. For you to be able to be disciplined, for you to be able to stick with a vision, there must always be a visitation in meditation to where we're coming from. We should always remember what time it is, what time it was, and what time it will be in future. Yes, you are here. Yes, there is a purpose and there's a dream. But if you are not careful, the Western side will consume that dream and it will not evolve. So once in a while, remind yourself, why did I pack that bag? Why did I borrow that money? Why did I migrate from my comfort zone? Why did I find myself on this land? This is a conversation you want to be having with your inner self. Migration may change your currency. It may change your opportunities. It may change your address. But I promise you, the only thing that will change the future is strategy. Therefore, do not forget once again why you chose that decision. Please, I need you to build, own assets, take good and pragmatic decisions. And as always, I can't wait to see you at the top. This is YAT Finance. Thank you so much for watching to the end. If you haven't followed or subscribed to this channel, by all means, do me the honor and tell a person and tell the other that YAT is spewing out the tea. God bless you.